Okay, so I can imagine that there's many of you out there wondering how my Daytona turned into a Ninja. If you've been reading my blog, you probably already know this, but for those of you who haven't, here we go. So we have to go way back. We have to go back to when I had a VFR. And I had a VFR at the same time as I had the Daytona, and that was really good because they complemented each other. If I needed travel, if I needed carrying capacity, it was wet weather, I would take the VFR, and if it was for fun, I would take the Daytona. But then ahead of Rue, destroyed the VFR. I kept the Daytona, wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do, and it probably took me about 3 or 4 years to figure out what I wanted to do, which is that I really wanted to go back to a sport tourer. Don't get me wrong, the Daytona was an awesome bike, so much fun, so light, so flexible, could do anything on it pretty much. I toured on it, for example, I commuted every day on it, and it was excellent. But I really wanted a bike that could tour a bit better than the Daytona, that could carry a bit more, I could easily fit a top box to it. So I really wanted to go back to the sport tourer, which unfortunately, if you've been paying attention, is a dying market. It's either super sports, hyper sport type bikes, or the adventure tourer type bikes. Your Triumph Tigers, your Yamaha Tracers, those kind of things. A bit longer in the suspension, but plenty of carrying space and lots of electrics and things like that. Not interested in those bikes. Sport tourers. Well, just recently the VFR ceased production for good. There is the Ducati Super Sport, which is kind of marketed as a sport tourer. Or there's the Ninja. There's the Ninja 1000. There's also the H2 SX as well. There's really very little left in the market, which used to be a really big market. There's obviously the big touring bikes like the FJR, Goldwing, those sort of things. But that's not what I'm talking about either. Those are touring bikes. So the sport tourer really kind of left the Ninja. Now, I started this search back when the VFR was being made. I test rode the Ninja and the VFR, and I still have my heart set on getting another Ninja. Another VFR. But kind of didn't really have the momentum to get one. Then one day, and then I tried the Ninja out a couple of times, and it was good, but I found the seat a little uncomfortable, which may have just been because they were brand new ones, showroom bikes. So the seat's probably not worn in a bit. Anyway, so I kind of made the decision to change bikes. Wasn't really sure how I was going to do that. Didn't really have the money to buy a brand new one. Then a colleague in my work, not that I know them very well, in a different workplace, put on a notice board that they were looking for something small and Italian to swap for a Ninja 1000. I said to them that I have something small and British, if that would take their fancy. So the idea was that they had a 2011, but it's actually a 2012, so it's the very first 2012s. Ninja 1000, as you can see in front of me. It was a 2,600 kilometers on it only, and it had been sitting in their shed for a year, and the previous owner had put on the 2,600 Ks in 6 years. They'd never touched it. They decided it was too big, too heavy for them. They'd never even ridden it in the year that they'd had it. And I said, look, I'll swap it for I've got a 2013 Daytona 675R with 65,000 Ks on it. So obviously a big difference in the Ks. And they were interested. So they brought it up, we took a look at the bikes, and we went ahead with the swap. Now obviously I was really nervous about this. I'd ridden the Ninja 1000, while I'd liked it, I'd found it kind of uncomfortable sitting on it for a bit. And the Daytona was such a wicked bike. But this was kind of the only way I was going to get back into sport touring at zero cost. It wasn't quite zero, I had to do the registration changeover, so there was a little bit of stamp duty and things there at that point. But other than that, no cost to the bike. She towed it up from Canberra on the trailer. I gave her the other bike. She towed it back down. So that was more than a year ago now. Since then, I've put nearly 20,000 Ks on this motorcycle. I've ridden it to Canberra at least twice. I've ridden it to Newcastle once as well, and I ride it every day in traffic. And as you can see from my previous video, commuting the city with it. And you know what? It's been fantastic. It's been exactly what I was looking for. Better range than the Daytona, more comfortable long distance than the Daytona, can carry more than the Daytona due to me putting the top box on the back. Still goes pretty well, has about the same power, but it's obviously a bit heavier than the Daytona and isn't quite as sport orientated. But for me, I'm not unhappy with that. I've discovered through a couple of track days that I did in the Daytona that the track days aren't really my interest. I like getting out, wandering around the countryside. So perfect bike. So that's basically how my Daytona turned into my Ninja. And like I said, I've been really happy with my choice, and I look forward to at least spending a while on this bike. I am quite keen on the new 2020 version, which is all of the good things about this bike and plenty of other electricity to go along with it. Things that I would really like LED headlights, especially, and lots of other cool things.